Hello everyone, my name is Rupti Kata. I'll be presenting the demo for Access the Control List. So here is the network diagram which was given by professor. I have set it up in the same way in the packet tracer to save the time. So the main topic is creating and enabling access control list. So I'll be focusing on that. So here, professor gave us IP addresses for each of the device and subnet mask and default gateway. So I have set it up accordingly. To avoid the typos and mistakes, what I would do is I would document the IP address and default gateway of each of the device on a Word document, and I'll copy paste it from here while setting up the network in Packet Tracer. So I did in such a way. So let's go through the question, the demo, or like one by one. So here I have set up configure hostname and IP address and subnet mask for all of the 7 devices as shown in below. So So I have set up the host names and IP for each device. Like for PCs, if you go to click on PC and go to config here, you can set up the device name and the default gateway. And if you go to the interface, you can set up the IP address and subnet mask. For switch, if you go to config, you can enter the host name of the switch here. And to configure the IP address of the switch, you need to give a command uh, IP address and then followed by the IP address of the switch. And for servers, same as PCs, you can go to config and set up the host name and the default gateway and the IPv4 address and subnet mask in the UI itself. For router, here you can enter the host name of the router. You can uh, give the host name of the router in the CIL itself. Uh, so here is our router enable show running config. I have already given the IP addresses and created the sub interfaces as asked. Let me show you how I did. So if you see here, we need to create 2 sub interfaces here. So if you just enter the command interface FA0 by 1, it will automatically create. And to tag it to the particular VLAN, you need to enter encapsulation command. Here it is. If you enter this command, it will tag this IP address with this VLAN number. Similarly, this IP address with this VLAN number. So here our basic network setup is done. So let's go through the questions. Question number 1, submit a screenshot showing from the command line interface of the router. You can successfully ping each of the 6 devices. We can definitely do that, but let me show you in the simulation mode for a better view. So let me take some message and try to ping each of the 6 devices. From router 1 to PC1, then router 1 to PC2, then router 1 to switch 2, then router 1 to switch 1, then router 1 to finance server, then router 1 to web server. You see, I'm able to ping all of the 6 devices. I am able to send the message. Similarly, even if you want to cross verify from the CIL also, you will be able to successfully connect. ping. Let me quickly grab the IP addresses from here. PC1 success, PC2 success. Sorry, I didn't give the ping command. Success. Similarly, finance server. Similarly, web server. Okay. So you see, I'm able to ping all the devices, and I have shown you here as well. So the next question is trace route from PC1. You should be successful able to finance server and the web server. Yes, definitely from PC1 to, oh, let me clear this first. Success. Similarly, I have already documented it. You can see I was able to trace route all the remaining devices from PC1, PC2, finance server, and web server. Let's go to the next question. So the next thing is we need to configure the access control list. Here professor is asking us to block the access list is nothing but enabling firewall to particular host or particular group of hosts or particular network. So here we are asked to block the traffic from PC1 to PC2, and PC1 should not be able to access to the PC finance server. It should be only accessible by PC2, not from PC1. Also, the connection between these two also, we need to control the access. So there are two types of access list. One is standard and another is extended. Standard ACL list is like from port numbers 1 to 99, which is applied closest to the destination. Let me write down. First, here we need to do the two steps. One is create the access list, and second step would be apply the access list. Create would be like we need to create either standard or extended. I'll explain you in a bit what is standard, what is extended. And while applying, we should apply either inbound or outbound. And next thing would be, so what is standard access list? Standard access list is like we need to create for ports 1 to 99, which is applied at the closest to the destination. and extended access list would be from 100 to port interface or port number 100 to 199, which would be applied closest to the source. So what is so here PC1 is our source and finance server is our destination. If we apply closest to the source on the router, that means inbound. Here it is, which is extended. And standard is applied to the closest to the destination, which means if we apply destination here is finance server, if we apply at this interface FES 0/1, if you apply it here, it would be standard. So here we need to apply, we need to control the traffic from PC1 to PC2 and then PC2 to finance server. So here it's pretty easy because we need to control the only traffic from PC1. So, and the router will be forwarded to any of the device through router. So here we need to block the incoming traffic, inbound traffic from PC1. So we need to control at this port. So for PC1, it would be it would be communicating to the router through the interface FES 0/1. If you see the IP address of the PC1 is 11.100, and if you see the default gateway, it's 11. So it will be routing through this. So we need to if we control the traffic at this port number, incoming traffic from PC1 to finance server and PC1 to PC2, then we'll be able to achieve the asked question. So let's create, and this is closest to the source. That means we need to create the extended access list. So let's create the extended access list at the router. So show running config. So the command to create, so here are the steps as I showed. First, we need to create the access list and then apply the access list inbound or outbound. So here I have created the access list, which is extended. That's why I need to give number. This is from 100 to 199. That's why I need to give access list 101, which is extended. And then I have applied for the host. If you see, this IP address is the IP address of the PC1, and I have blocked to this is finance server and this is PC2. And rest everything should be allowed for these two hosts. For this, I have given IP access list 101 permit IP any. This means I'm blocking host 1 to reach to these two, finance server and PC2, and rest all of the traffic should be allowed. So I have created the access list. So now I should be able to ping from PC1 to web server, but not to the PC2 and finance server. So let's test this. So if I send the packets from PC1 to PC2, it's failed. And if I send the packet from to PC1 to finance server, it's also failed. If I send the packets from PC2 to web server, it is successful. But PC2 should be working normal as usual. If I ping PC2 to finance server, it is successful. And if I ping from PC2 to web server, it is successful. So that's how we create access list. I have already showed you the running config, show running config of the router one. These are the access list, and these are each port IP address and sub interfaces that we have created. And if I show you show running config of the switch, it will have the IP addresses that we have configured. Yeah, for the each port we set as access port, and this port is trunk port, and IP addresses and sub interface will be shown at the end. See, so this is the demo of access list. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And you can refer all the commands in my document. I will attach the document to set up everything. Thank you so much.